Now, I uploaded the video about not using a cleanser a couple of days ago, where I basically explained that yes, I do not use a cleansing product, but I still rinse my face every day with water, usually after exercising in the morning and again in the evening before going to bed. And then there was another question that came up quite a few times, which was, well, what about moisturizer? Do I use a moisturizer or some kind of balm afterwards? And no, I actually do not. I have not used a moisturizer or balm on my face for about 2.5 years now, except for a couple of demonstrations I have done here on my YouTube channel to help you see how to use one properly. And the reason for that is not that I'm suddenly anti-moisturizer or that I think nobody should ever use one. It is simply because I wanted to see what would happen if I stopped using skincare products altogether and just focused on dietary changes. Because, as you know, I was struggling with breakouts for nearly a decade, and I wanted to take away as many variables as possible so I could actually see what was making a difference. And while I was doing that, I noticed that I simply did not feel the need to put a moisturizer on my face anymore. And if you have followed my channel closely over the last years, you probably already know that even before this, I always said that I did not think moisturizer was necessarily needed as a separate step. For example, if you're already using a serum that contains hydrating ingredients, then adding a moisturizer on top can simply become an additional step. That is why whenever I showed you skincare routines in the past, I always said that the moisturizer was the optional step. Now, of course, if your skin feels dry during periods where you are using something like retinol or prescription retinoids, then moisturizer is definitely a step worth considering. But from the perspective I am talking about here, where I'm not washing my face with a cleanser and I'm not using these kinds of products, my skin basically just balances itself. So moisturizer is really not something I feel the need to apply, especially not on a regular basis. And I think the bigger point here is to get away from the idea that moisturizer is something you automatically need to use every single day in order for your skin to improve. Because I don't really look at moisturizer that way. For me, it makes much more sense to use it situationally. If your skin feels dry because you are adjusting to a new product, or because the weather suddenly changed, or simply because your skin feels uncomfortable, then moisturizer can help ease that dryness and make the skin feel more comfortable. And if you enjoy using one every day, of course you can do that too. I just don't think you need to look at moisturizer as this mandatory step that everybody has to have in their routines. So to answer the original question, very simply, no, I do not use a moisturizer, I do not use a balm, and I do not use any other moisturizing products on my face. What I do every single day is rinse my face with water, and the changes you see in my skin really came from that very simple routine together with the dietary and lifestyle changes I have made over the last couple of years. So I hope this clarifies the question and was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!